Welcome to Brit Buzz. Today, we're embarking on an extraordinary journey through the entire history of human civilization. From ancient origins to modern marvels, we'll explore the triumphs, tragedies, and transformations that have shaped our world. From primitive hunter-gatherers to the skyscrapers of today, human civilization has undergone incredible transformations. But how did it all begin, and what shaped the world as we know it? Let's take a journey through the fascinating story of humanity, one era at a time. The first humans, around 300,000 years ago, in the heart of Africa, something incredible happened. Homo sapiens, our species, emerged. These weren't just any humans, they were the start of us. What made them special wasn't just their looks but their brains. They could think, create, and collaborate in ways no other species could. They crafted tools, mastered fire, and likely began forming the first languages. Life was tough. They hunted, gathered, and relied on each other to survive. But they didn't just survive, they thrived, spreading across the globe and adapting to every challenge. Even cooler, they weren't alone. Other human species, like Neanderthals, lived alongside them, and yes, even interacted with them. That means a tiny piece of their story lives in many of us today. From these humble beginnings, Homo sapiens set off on a journey that would shape the entire planet, and it all started in Africa. Life as a hunter-gatherer was all about survival. Early humans moved in small groups, hunting animals with spears and bows while gathering fruits, nuts, and plants. They had to know their environment inside out, what to eat, how to hunt, and how to stay safe from predators. Teamwork was everything. They shared food, built shelters, and even made clothes to survive harsh climates. It wasn't easy, but this lifestyle taught them to adapt, solve problems, and work together, skills that became the foundation of human civilization. Tools and fire. The discovery of tools and fire was a total game changer for early humans. Simple stone tools helped them hunt, cut meat, and even build shelters, giving them a huge edge in survival. But fire, that was revolutionary. It provided warmth, cooked food, scared off predators, and created a sense of safety at night. Fire wasn't just survival, it was a spark of civilization. As they mastered these skills, humans began forming small communities. Living together made life easier, hunting in groups, sharing resources, and protecting one another. These early groups were the first step toward the societies and cultures we know today. Migration. Early humans didn't stay in one place for long. Starting in Africa around 200,000 years ago, they began migrating across the globe, driven by curiosity, survival, and the search for food. They spread into the Middle East, Asia, Europe, and eventually Australia and the Americas. Along the way, they adapted to every challenge: freezing ice ages, vast deserts, dense forests, and rugged mountains. They learned to make warmer clothes, build better shelters, and hunt new types of animals. This incredible adaptability allowed humans to thrive in every environment, turning the entire planet into their home and setting the stage for the rise of civilizations everywhere. Agricultural Revolution, 10,000 BCE. The shift to farming. Around 10,000 BCE, in the Fertile Crescent, modern-day Middle East, humans made a groundbreaking shift from hunting and gathering to farming. This change, known as the Neolithic Revolution, allowed people to settle in one place and build villages. The fertile land and stable climate in this region made it perfect for growing crops like wheat and barley, while animals like goats and sheep were domesticated. With surplus food, populations grew, and small villages, like Jericho and Atilda Atoll Atilda Pilgroya 1/4K, emerged. This led to new inventions, like farming tools and irrigation systems, as well as the rise of social classes and specialized jobs. This agricultural shift sparked the development of complex societies, paving the way for ancient civilizations like Mesopotamia. It was a game-changing moment that reshaped human history forever. The domestication of plants and animals was a key part of the Neolithic Revolution. Instead of relying on wild resources, humans began growing crops like wheat and barley, and raising animals like goats, sheep, and cattle. By selecting the best plants and animals, early farmers created more reliable food sources, allowing populations to grow and villages to form. This shift from hunting and gathering to farming changed everything, leading to permanent settlements, new technologies, and the rise of complex societies. It was the beginning of human civilization as we know it. Permanent settlements. The rise of early villages like Jericho and Atilda Atoll Atilda Pilcroya 1/4 marked a major shift in human history. As farming grew, people no longer needed to move around in search of food. Jericho, one of the oldest cities in the world, had permanent homes and even protective walls. Meanwhile, Atilda Atoll Atilda Pilcroya 1/4 in modern-day Turkey, was a large, bustling settlement with tightly packed houses, where people shared spaces and worked together. These villages became centers of trade, culture, and social organization, laying the groundwork for the first complex societies. The shift from nomadic life to settled villages sparked the growth of civilization. The beginning of surplus food production was a game-changer for early human societies. As people mastered farming, they were able to grow more food than they needed to survive. This extra food, often stored in jars or other containers, allowed populations to grow and provided a steady food supply even during tough seasons. With surplus food, not everyone needed to farm anymore. Some people could focus on other jobs like crafting, trading, or building, leading to the rise of specialized skills in more complex societies. This surplus was the foundation for cities, trade, and the growth of civilizations. Impact on society. As surplus food production took off, it triggered population growth. With more reliable food, people lived longer, and communities thrived. This increase in food allowed families to support more children, leading to larger populations and villages and settlements. More people meant more hands to work the land, trade, and build, which helped villages expand into towns and cities. As populations grew, so did the need for organization, technology, and new ways of living together, laying the foundation for complex societies and early civilizations. With the rise of surplus food and growing populations, the division of labor took off. Not everyone needed to farm anymore. Some people became toolmakers, traders, or potters, while others specialized in building, weaving, or working with metals. This specialization allowed societies to be more efficient and innovative. As people produced different goods, the need to trade emerged. Villages and early cities began exchanging food, crafts, and resources, sparking the foundations of trade networks. This exchange of goods not only helped people survive but also led to the spread of ideas, cultures, and technologies, driving the growth of civilizations. 4. The birth of civilization. Early cities and kingdoms. Mesopotamia. The Sumerians, one of the first civilizations in Mesopotamia, revolutionized communication with the development of cuneiform writing around 3200 BCE. Initially, they used pictures and symbols to keep track of trade, crops, and resources. Over time, these symbols evolved into a system of wedge-shaped marks made on clay tablets. Cuneiform became crucial for record-keeping, laws, and storytelling, helping to shape complex societies. It allowed for the spread of knowledge and ideas, preserved history, and was the foundation for future writing systems. This invention was a key step in the rise of civilization, enabling Sumerians to organize, govern, and connect with future generations. The first cities, like Ur and Druk, emerged in ancient Mesopotamia around 3000 BCE, marking the dawn of urban civilization. Uruk, one of the largest cities, is often considered the world's first true city. It had massive walls, a complex system of canals, and monumental buildings, including a grand temple dedicated to the goddess Inanna. Another major city, was a thriving hub of trade, culture, and politics, known for its ziggurats, large step pyramids, and as the home of the famous king Ur-Nammu. These cities were centers of power, innovation, and culture, with bustling markets, artisans, and early forms of government. The rise of Ur and Druk set the stage for future cities and the development of complex civilizations. Egypt. The Nile River played a crucial role in creating a stable agricultural society in ancient Egypt. Its predictable flooding each year deposited rich silt on the land, making the soil incredibly fertile for growing crops like wheat, barley, and flax. This natural irrigation system allowed Egyptians to cultivate food reliably. Even in the midst of a desert, the river also provided a transportation route, making it easier to trade goods and communicate across the kingdom. This stability in agriculture led to population growth, the development of towns and cities, and the rise of a powerful centralized government. In essence, the Nile was the lifeblood of Egyptian civilization, enabling it to flourish for thousands of years. The pyramids are symbols of the incredible power and organization of ancient Egypt, built during the reign of the pharaohs. These massive structures, like the Great Pyramid of Giza, were tombs for the pharaohs, designed to ensure their safe journey to the afterlife. The construction of such monumental buildings required an organized workforce, advanced engineering, and centralized authority. Under the pharaohs, Egypt had a highly centralized government, where the king was seen as both the political and divine ruler. The pharaoh controlled vast resources, led military campaigns, and oversaw religious rituals, making him the focal point of Egyptian society. This strong central leadership enabled the construction of impressive infrastructure, like pyramids, temples, and irrigation systems, which helped maintain stability and prosperity throughout Egypt. Other early civilizations, the Indus Valley, Yellow River Valley in China, and Mesoamerican cultures each created powerful civilizations that shaped the world in unique ways. Indus Valley, modern-day Pakistan/India, known for advanced cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, with planned streets, drainage systems, and trade networks. Their writing system remains a mystery. Yellow River Valley, China. The Shang dynasty built the foundation of Chinese civilization, known for their bronze tools, oracle bones, and early Chinese writing. They also pioneered agriculture along the river. Mesoamerica, Mexico/Central America. The Olmecs influenced future civilizations with giant stone heads and early calendar systems. The Maya were masters of astronomy and created a complex writing system, while the Aztecs built the magnificent city of Tenochtitlan, known for its floating gardens and impressive temples. These ancient cultures were innovators in technology, architecture, and writing, leaving legacies that still inspire today. Classical Antiquity, 500 BCE, 500s, Greek city-states. The Greek city-states, especially Athens, were centers of innovation and culture. Athens is famous for developing the first true democracy, where free male citizens could participate in decision-making through voting and debate in the assembly. This was a radical shift from monarchies and oligarchies in other parts of the world. Athens also saw incredible advancements in philosophy, science, and the arts. Philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle laid the foundations of Western thought, exploring topics like ethics, politics, and knowledge. In science, thinkers like Pythagoras and Euclid made breakthroughs in mathematics, while Hippocrates began the study of medicine. Art and theater flourished with playwrights like Sophocles and Aristophanes, while sculptors like Phidias created timeless works. Athens' legacy in democracy, philosophy, and culture continues to shape modern societies. Alexander the Great was one of history's most influential conquerors, spreading Greek culture far and wide through his conquests. After becoming king of Macedonia, he built an empire that stretched from Greece all the way to Egypt and India. His victories in the 4th century BC helped spread Hellenistic culture via a blend of Greek, Persian, Egyptian, and Indian influences across a vast territory. Alexander founded cities, the most famous being Alexandria in Egypt, which became centers of learning and culture. The spread of Greek language, art, architecture, and ideas in these cities created a rich, multicultural world. This Hellenistic influence lasted long after his death, shaping the Roman Empire and continuing to impact art, philosophy, and science for centuries. The Roman Empire, Rome's shift from republic to empire revolutionized governance, law, and infrastructure. The Romans built a vast network of roads, aqueducts, and cities, making trade and communication across their empire smooth and efficient. Roman law laid the groundwork for modern legal systems, introducing ideas like innocent until proven guilty and fair trials, which still shape our laws today. Governance. While the Republic had elected officials, the empire saw emperors with supreme power. Despite this, Roman citizens still had rights, and provincial governors helped manage vast territories. Rome's innovations in infrastructure, law, and governance helped create a stable empire that continues to influence the world. The spread of Christianity and the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Christianity, which began as a small movement in the Roman Empire, grew rapidly after Constantine made it the state religion in the 4th century. As the faith spread, the Western Roman Empire was crumbling under invasions, economic issues, and political chaos. In 476, the last Roman emperor was overthrown, marking the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Ancient China. Ancient China's dynasties, like the Qin and Han, laid the foundation for one of the world's most influential civilizations. The Qin unified China and built the Great Wall, while the Han expanded trade through the Silk Road and advanced in science and technology, leaving a legacy that still impacts us today. The Qin and Han dynasties were key to shaping ancient China. Qin dynasty, 221–206 BCE. The Qin dynasty, under Qin Shi Huang, unified China and began the construction of the Great Wall, aiming to protect the empire from northern invaders. This massive wall would grow over centuries, becoming one of China's most iconic landmarks. Han Dynasty, 206 BC 220s. The Han Dynasty expanded China's borders and established the Silk Road, a trade route connecting China to Europe, the Middle East, and Central Asia. This allowed the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture, including silk, tea, and paper, which had a lasting impact on global trade and communication. Both dynasties left lasting legacies in military infrastructure and global commerce, shaping the course of Chinese history. 6. The Middle Ages, 500 to 1500s. Feudalism and castles. Feudalism was the system that defined medieval Europe. It was a hierarchical structure where land and loyalty were exchanged for protection and service. The structure, king, at the top of the pyramid, the king owned all the land but granted portions to nobles. Lords were granted land by the king and, in return, provided military support and loyalty. They ruled large estates. Vassals, knights. These were warriors who served the lords in exchange for land or protection. They were granted smaller portions of land called fiefs. Peasants, serfs, at the bottom. Peasants worked the land and were tied to it, offering their labor in exchange for protection and basic needs. Castles. Castles were the fortified homes of the nobles, built to protect against invasions. With thick walls, moats, and drawbridges, castles were symbols of power and security in a turbulent time. They served as centers of defense, administration, and control. This feudal system shaped the medieval world, keeping society stable but also rigid and often harsh. Golden Ages elsewhere. The Islamic Golden Age, 8th to 14th centuries, was a period of incredible intellectual, cultural, and scientific growth across the Muslim world, with scholars building upon ancient Greek, Roman, Persian, and Indian knowledge. Advancements in science, algebra, pioneered by Al-Khwarizmi, and groundbreaking work in astronomy, like the development of more accurate star charts, revolutionized understanding of the cosmos. Ibn al-Haytham made key contributions to optics, discovering how light works, which laid the groundwork for modern physics. Medicine. Avicenna, Ibn Sina, wrote the Canon of Medicine, a medical encyclopedia that became a standard text in both the Islamic world and Europe for centuries. Hospitals and medical schools flourished, with advances in surgery, anatomy, and the treatment of diseases. Philosophy. Scholars like Al-Farabi and Averroes, Ibn Rushd, bridged Greek philosophy with Islamic thought, influencing later Western philosophers such as Thomas Aquinas. This period was a golden age of knowledge, where innovation in science, medicine, and philosophy helped shape the future of the world. Both India and China had golden ages, shaping history with their empires' innovations. Indian empires. The Maurya Empire, under Ashoka, spread Buddhism and improved governance. The Gupta Empire was a golden age, advancing in mathematics, astronomy, and literature, creating the concept of zero and epic works like the Kama Sutra. Chinese empires. The Han Dynasty expanded China and saw breakthroughs like paper and the thriving Silk Road. The Tang Dynasty excelled in art, literature, and engineering, while fostering cultural exchange along the Silk Road. These empires left a lasting legacy in trade, science, and culture, influencing the world for centuries. The Black Death. The Black Death, 1347–1351, was a devastating plague that wiped out one-third of Europe's population, causing chaos across the continent. Impact on Europe. With so many dead, a labor shortage hit, weakening feudalism and giving survivors more power. The church lost influence, and social unrest spread. Global trade. The plague spread along trade routes, disrupting global trade as merchants and travelers avoided infected areas, causing economic downturns. The Black Death reshaped society, economy, and trade, leaving a permanent mark on history. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting content.